Greg Price has likewise been following the situation closely, and he points out that Phelan at times either sounds like he's drunk or having a medical emergency on the House floor. Take a look at this recent example he shares.
Mr. Speaker, I move adoption.
Mr. Campbell sent an amendment. The amendment is acceptable to the author. Is there objection to the opposite amendment? The chair has none. The amendment is adopted. The chair recognizes Mr. Johnson of Harris. Mr. Johnson of Harris to speak in opposition to the bill.
You want Niabe? Chair recognizes Ms. Niabe Criado to speak.
The chair recognizes Ms. Niabe Criado to speak in opposition to the bill.
Joining us now to discuss is Greg Price, the communications director for the State Freedom Caucus Network. Greg, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So Paxton released a statement calling on Phelan to resign over what looks to be a state of public intoxication in that clip. Do we know what's been up with Phelan, or is that still undisclosed?
You know, I sent several requests for comment to his office to ask him, what happened and if he was drunk, what he was drinking. There were people saying it may have been too many Bud Lights, but he has not come out to clarify what actually happened. But yeah, like you said, this is a uniparty attack against an effective conservative attorney general. And Ken Paxton has been the target of these kinds of witch hunt investigations since he was elected in 2014. Literally right before he took office, he was indicted on securities fraud in a case that never even went to trial due to the lack of evidence. And he's been taking the slings and arrows of many more attacks since. And this is just the latest example of that. And what people should keep in mind is that impeachment is not a criminal proceeding. Impeachment is an entirely political process. And they did this, behind closed doors without any public testimony from firsthand witnesses. They all did it based on hearsay and not with direct evidence. And now one of the most effective conservative attorneys in the country is sidelined because under Texas law, if you're impeached, you are temporarily suspended from office. And Ken Paxton is somebody who's filed, almost 100 lawsuits, like hundreds of lawsuits against the Biden administration, for their vaccine mandate, based for their border policy. He sued Big Pharma over the vaccine. He has sued hospitals over transgender surgeries. He's sued for all the. He's one of the most effective conservative litigators in America, and now he has been effectively sidelined by the uniparty in Texas. As you mentioned, Dade Phelan was able to become Speaker of the House because he got support from Democrats as well as just enough Republicans that he cut deals with. And he responded to his conservative voters by appointing these Democrats to committees and working with them to block border security bills. So it's a total disgrace what's going on, but it really highlights a disturbing trend in red states where we have terrible Republican leadership in many of these places. And conservatives simply aren't paying attention to it. We're all caught up in what's going on nationally, what's going on with Trump, DeSantis, but we're kind of ignoring what's going on in our own backyard. And this is just one example of it. It's happening all over the country, and we're trying to fix it in our work at the State Freedom Caucus Network.
And I'm glad that you are, because as you said, this happened so quietly. I feel like I just turned around and I thought, wait, he was impeached? How'd this happen? And I was keeping up with things, but it happened so quickly. Like you said, behind closed doors, not a lot going on, at least not publicly, not a lot of people talking about it. And like you said, he's one of the most effective state AGs that we have. And here you have basically a Benedict Arnold, a turncoat in many ways, someone who's, I guess, the epitome of being a rhino, is the one stabbing him in the back like Brutus. And again, this is happening so quietly. So what's the main charge with this one? Like you said, baseless, yes, but what are they at least trying to say? Something about taxpayer money and whistleblowers? What are they at least trying to allege here?
They're alleging essentially that he took money in order to write a favorable legal opinion for a friend of his. That is the charge at the central of the bribery article of impeachment that they got him on. But the rest of the articles are things like obstruction of justice that aren't even related to that. And again, they conducted these hearings. They didn't do any sort of public hearing with people who were direct witnesses to it. It was all based on hearsay and all a bunch of crap. And like I said, it is an entirely political process. Impeachment, if you have the votes to do it, you can do it. And that's exactly what happened here. And now they go to the Senate for an actual trial. What it is impeachment. An impeachment vote is essentially these people voted to say there's enough evidence to warrant a trial against Ken Paxton.